Hey everyone, what's going on? It's your name, and let's talk about something that's been making headlines lately. The California exodus. We've all seen the stories, right? People packing up, selling their homes, and hightailing it out of the Golden State. Now you might be wondering, why are so many people leaving a place as iconic as California? Well, the answer isn't so simple. There's actually a perfect storm of factors at play, from the sky-high cost of living to concerns about safety and quality of life. In this video, we're diving deep into the reasons why Californians are choosing to leave and where they're even going. So if you're curious about this mass migration, stick around, hit that like button, and let's get right into it. Let's be real. Living in California has always been expensive. But in recent years, it's gone from pricey to downright outrageous. We're talking about a median home price that's enough to make your jaw drop, rent that eats up a huge chunk of your income, and everyday expenses that seem to keep climbing. Think about it. Could you imagine spending close to $1 million just for a small starter home? That's the reality for many Californians, and it's simply unsustainable. Even for those who can technically afford it, the question becomes, is it even worth it? A lot of people are starting to realize that they could have a much higher quality of life for a fraction of the cost in other parts of the country. They can actually afford to buy a home, maybe even their dream home, without being house poor. And that's a huge factor driving people away. For many, the appeal of a more affordable lifestyle elsewhere is just too strong to ignore. Now let's talk about the housing crisis, because it's impossible to have this conversation without addressing the elephant in the room. California is facing a severe housing shortage, and it's only gotten worse over time. There simply aren't enough homes to meet the demand, which has driven prices through the roof. This shortage affects everyone, from young professionals trying to buy their first home to families struggling to find a place they can afford to rent. It's creating intense competition, bidding wars, and a sense of desperation in the market. Imagine this. You find a house you love, but you're up against 20 other offers, all willing to pay way over asking price. It's a frustrating and disheartening experience, and it's pushing many people to their breaking point. The housing crisis is a major reason why so many Californians are throwing their hands up and saying, "Enough is enough, I'm out of here." Okay, let's be honest. Crime rates are a concern in parts of California, just like in any other state. But in recent years, there's been a noticeable uptick in certain areas, and it's definitely on people's minds. When you don't feel safe in your own neighborhood, it's only natural to start thinking about other options. We're seeing more and more stories about property crime, theft, and even violent crime in some communities. And while these incidents don't define the entire state, they do create a sense of unease and make people question whether California is the right place to raise a family or build a life. For many, it comes down to peace of mind. They want to live in a place where they feel secure, where they can walk down the street at night without worrying, and where their kids can play outside without constant supervision. If California isn't providing that sense of security, they're willing to look elsewhere. Chapter 4. The tax burden that breaks the bank. California has some of the highest taxes in the nation. These taxes fund services like education and infrastructure, but can dent your paycheck. State income tax, property tax, sales tax, it all adds up. Imagine working hard, earning well, but losing a huge chunk to taxes. Less money to save, invest, or enjoy life. Businesses also feel the pinch, making it tough to operate. This creates a ripple effect throughout the economy. People want to keep more of what they earn, and are moving to states with lower taxes. Chapter 5. When wildfires become the norm. Alright, let's talk about wildfires, because they've become a terrifying reality for many Californians. In recent years, we've seen more frequent and more intense wildfires, fueled by drought, climate change, and other factors. These fires are devastating, destroying homes, displacing families, and leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Imagine this. You live in a beautiful community nestled in the hills, surrounded by nature. But every summer, the threat of wildfire hangs over your head like a dark cloud. You worry about the dry brush, the strong winds, and the possibility of having to evacuate at a moment's notice. That constant fear and uncertainty take a toll. It's stressful, it's disruptive, and it can make it difficult to feel truly settled. And for those who have lost their homes or been directly impacted by wildfires, the trauma can be long-lasting. It's not just the fires themselves either. Many Californians are simply tired of living with this constant threat. Chapter 6. The Homelessness Crisis. Look, homelessness is a complex issue with no easy solutions. But it's impossible to ignore the growing homeless population in California, particularly in major cities. We're seeing more and more people living on the streets, in encampments, and struggling to survive. And while homelessness is a multifaceted issue that requires compassion and systemic change, it also impacts the quality of life for everyone. It can lead to increased crime, sanitation problems, and a sense of unease in public spaces. Imagine this: you're walking down the street, and you see people sleeping in doorways, begging for money, and struggling with mental health or addiction issues. It's a heartbreaking reminder of the challenges we face as a society, and it can make it difficult to feel safe and secure in your own community. For some Californians, the visible homelessness crisis is a sign that the state is struggling to address its problems. Okay, let's be real. Traffic in California, especially in Southern California, is the stuff of legends. Hours-long commutes, bumper-to-bumper jams, and a constant battle for road space. It's enough to make even the most patient person lose their cool. Imagine leaving work at 5 p.m. but getting home hours later. Time lost that could be spent with family or relaxing. This constant battle with traffic takes a toll. It's stressful, exhausting, and impacts health. The stop-and-go driving, road rage, and honking add up. And let's not forget the environmental impact. Idling cars pump out fumes, contributing to pollution. For many Californians, the traffic is simply unbearable. Look, California is a beautiful state with a lot to offer. But when you combine all the factors we've discussed, the high cost of living, the housing crisis, the crime, the taxes, the wildfires, the homelessness, the traffic, it starts to chip away at your overall quality of life. Imagine this: you're working tirelessly just to make ends meet, you're constantly stressed about money, you don't feel safe in your own neighborhood, and you're spending hours of your life stuck in traffic. It's enough to make anyone question whether they're truly living their best life. For many Californians, the answer is a resounding no. They're realizing that they're making too many sacrifices, that they're not getting ahead, and that they're not truly happy. They're trading in the hustle and bustle of California for a more balanced and fulfilling lifestyle. Here's the thing: California isn't the only game in town anymore. In the past, people flocked to California for the job opportunities, particularly in tech, entertainment, and other booming industries. But now, those opportunities are popping up all over the country. We're seeing major tech hubs emerging in cities like Austin, Seattle, Denver, and Raleigh-Durham, just to name a few. Companies are realizing that they don't have to be based in Silicon Valley to attract top talent, and they're opening offices in more affordable and business-friendly locations. This shift is creating a ripple effect throughout the economy, with more job opportunities opening up in fields like healthcare, finance, education, and more. People are no longer tied to California for work, and they're free to explore other options that better align with their values and lifestyle. And let's not forget about remote work. The pandemic accelerated the trend of remote work, and it's now becoming the norm for many industries. For many Californians, this newfound freedom is incredibly appealing. So, we've talked about why Californians are leaving, but where are they actually going? Well, it turns out they're spreading out all over the country, but some destinations are proving to be particularly popular. Let's start with Texas. Texas has become a magnet for Californians in recent years, thanks to its strong job market, relatively affordable housing, and no state income tax. Cities like Austin, Dallas, and Houston are seeing a huge influx of new residents from the Golden State. Then there's Arizona. Arizona offers a similar appeal to Texas, with a lower cost of living, warm weather, and a growing economy. Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Tucson are top choices for Californians seeking a change of pace. Other states seeing an influx of Californians include Colorado, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, and Florida. Each state offers its own unique appeal, whether it's the outdoor recreation opportunities, the lower taxes, the friendlier business climate, or simply a change of scenery. So there you have it, the reasons behind the California exodus. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but one thing's for sure, more and more Californians are voting with their feet. What do you think about this mass migration? Have you considered leaving California? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful or insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching.